I'm upset. No disrespect, respectfully, but disrespectfully is disrespect. Don't be disrespectful. Those vile, disgusting Spartans, poor little bro, them. And I'ma tell them why I'm mad. That vile, disgusting cesspool in Columbus, the other state, and of course, as always, I'm upset. Hey, yo, good afternoon, good people. It is I, the Maize Madman. I am here with my guy,
the Maniac, on the road.
On the road, right. On his way to the barbershop. Shout out to that. Kinetic should be joining us here shortly. Shout out to Ripstar, who always has the chat going, keeps the chat live, even when we're not here. He said he's going to hold the, by the way, he's going to hold the lack of punctuality on our part. He gonna speak about that during his performance review feedback. Shout out to Ripstar, who is the greatest.
Hands down.
We got some other people in here. My guy Blank Name is in here. Keegan is in here. I saw Dexter Green was in here. Dexter's in here. You guys already know. So look, we missed an opportunity to put the video out, but people got 9 to 5s in lives and stuff. But anyway, Michigan picked up a flip earlier today. Benny Patterson, 3-star defensive line, 4-star according to On3 defensive lineman, flipped Benny from the University of Cincinnati. Benny just sounds like a guy that should be at Michigan anyway. Maniac, what are your thoughts?
Oh, man, that's always a great thing. Sorry for me. So, yeah, I mean, listen, man, whenever you got guys flipping, that's always a good thing, right? Because there was something there that you was able to make him think, you know what? This ain't the place for me. That's the place for me. Could it be money? Hey, I'm okay with that, But Michigan has shown that one thing is for sure is that they've been developing the defensive line very well, right? You see what we have right now currently. So if I'm a recruit, right? Yo, you know what? Michigan is not a bad place to go to right now because Michigan might have 3 first-rounders on that D-line. Kenneth Grant, Mason Graham, and Josiah Stewart. He is very close, man. If he can have a big game the rest of the year, moving forward, have big games, man, there's no doubt he's going to be a first-round pick.
Absolutely. By the way, Kinetic just joined us. We was just talking about Benny Patterson flipping. We wanted to get that out the way before we got into what we came here to get into. All right. So look, I've been on the phone all day when I'm working, but I'm also on the phone, communicating with who I need to communicate with about what's happening this weekend, what's going down with Michigan recruiting. By the way, Kinetic, go ahead, introduce yourself. I'm sorry, that was rude of me.
It's just Kinetic 615, man. Can you hear me all right? They're trying this new mic out. Let me know how it sounds.
We can hear you. It's a little loud. It's peaking a little bit, but it's good.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm trying to mess with it, but I'm brand new with this thing.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm probably peaking too because I'm like speaking right into this thing. All right, but anyway, I speak to who I need to speak to. And by the way, when I say I'm speaking to who I need to speak to, it's real. It's guys that are connected inside. I've interviewed some of these guys on the channel. Do your research. I'm not giving names. All right. Anyway, the guys I'm speaking to are telling me things. Shout out to my guy Toast who's in here. By the way, this is Kiyoki Kayapana. Let me know if that are you.
I believe that's somebody related to Micah.
Micah Kayapana. Shout out to that. Golf claps for that all around. By the way, we'd love to interview Micah on the show. By the way, we set that up. But anyway, I'm distracted. So I'm speaking to who I need to speak to. They're telling me things, including about Wu, who we know is on campus this weekend, visiting Michigan, kind of an emergency visit for Michigan this weekend before he takes a visit to Notre Dame, or maybe he doesn't make it to that visit next week to Notre Dame.
Don't let him leave the building, right?
Right. His brother is at Notre Dame or an alumni, something like that. So, it's always that tearing at the heartstrings and things like that. But I see Marmar saying Moose. Shout out to Marmar, by the way, who's also here. And Moose
So
is
what up,
if he's
Marmar?
here. Shout out to Moose. But anyway, he's telling me, not Wu, by the way, just somebody very close to Wu, telling me that he himself is in Ann Arbor too. And if he is in Ann Arbor, then it must mean business. We're talking business here, okay? Which leads me to believe that Michigan might be about to land Wu. By the way, we're not just stopping at Wu. There are other people that have how do I say this? Anyway, there's somebody who may be committing this weekend who is connected to another person who is rumored to be in talks with Michigan, and that person who's rumored to be in talks with Michigan may be on the campus this weekend. Shout out to Dom who just entered the chat. Jew, shout out to Jew who's in the chat. And yes, Clemson can have Jordan. Give me Littleton. We stand on that. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm doing a lot of talking. I haven't gotten to the point yet. I'm gonna land the plane. I promise you. Elijah Dotson, we know Elijah Dotson's going to be visiting. This is his official visit, by the way. He was also just on campus last week. We know that Elijah Dotson is committed to Pitt currently, but we also know that Elijah Dotson is teammates with Mr. Bryce Underwood, right? Not only is Elijah Dotson teammates with Mr. Bryce Underwood, I just watched an interview with Mr. Bryce Underwood where he was talking to a young lady, and in that interview, he spoke about Elijah Dotson coming to play with him at a different place. We're not even going to talk about that place because who cares? Because they had just offered Elijah Dotson. Now, if Elijah Dotson commits to Michigan this weekend, which it's a very real possibility that happens, I'm not saying that that's the reason that somebody like Bryce Underwood commits to Michigan. However, the likelihood of Bryce Underwood, let me just say the percentages go up, right? Anybody disagree with that? You agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty high. But did you notice the timing of when LSU offered Elijah Dotson?
I did notice the timeline. Yes. By the way, speaking of LSU, which by the way, we're not supposed to be saying their name today, but anyway, it's all good. It's all good. You've said it. It's out. LSU has sent their offensive coordinator / quarterback coach, Mr. Sloan, to the Detroit metro area, more specifically Belleville, to see the first playoff game for Bryce Underwood. What are your thoughts on that? There's more let me not say fireworks, that's already been taken. There's more news to report here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get to it in a second, but what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, to me it sounds like they're getting a little desperate if they're worried a little bit if they're sending him up here now. Like they haven't come up here before to any of his games before this all started to heat up. And my question is, if he's in talks with ECU, why are they sending him up here to still recruit?
That's a great point. I'll bring up the point that I was going to make in a second. But there are some people, including my guy Dom, who is not a fan of the Bryce Underwood drama. Check it out. I'm out. Shout out to Dom. That's my guy. Don't get arrested out there, maniac.
I'm sorry.
Underwood stuff is dumb. Shout out to Yellow Blackbird. We lost a committed guy for nothing. Let me tell you something, Yellow Blackbird. As much as a human being, right, I feel for anybody who had their hopes up for something and then was told that they were wanted, and in the 9th hour or the 25th hour was told, hey, we want you, but we want that too, right? I feel that is just it's human nature to feel something for that. However, are we gonna sit here and say, and before I say this, no disrespect, respectfully, but disrespectfully, are we sitting here saying that Carter Smith was going to be a game changer at Michigan, was Carter Smith ever going to see the field as a starting quarterback at Michigan? Ask yourself that honestly. Go ahead.
I would say this. We really don't know, right? I mean, based on footage, to me, I think he was going to be better than K McNamara, right? His ceiling looks higher than that. I'm just saying, you don't become a Gatorade Player of the Year twice in the state of Florida as a quarterback and you mid. That it don't work like that. So we don't know though. We don't know because not until you put that on, college is a different level. I'm going based on what I saw of for footage. I think he would have been a starter, maybe somehow. It all depends how Jaden Davis ends up being. But I get everybody about the whole Underwood situation. It's becoming overwhelming. It's like, what's happening next? People on their toes, people get tired of it. But it's a talent, guys, again, that you don't turn down. And even so, even if Michigan doesn't land Underwood, what Michigan is showing is that they are going to be aggressive moving forward with NIL. They've always been in NIL, but this is the most aggressive they've been. They're not playing with the country no more. They saying, you know what? They kicked down that door. They said, we here too. They came with that black M. Michigan is putting up money. And again, that money they're willing to put up for Underwood has nothing to do with what they're going to put up in the transfer portal and for other recruits coming in. Other teams are already upset. I'm upset what Michigan is doing with the NIL because they just don't want Michigan to win. So, look, man, I don't care. I like it, right? Because this is what college football is, right? These are many NFL teams now. So it's either we stay elite or we hold, no, we do want Michigan men, but we got to compete, guys. You want to lose to Ohio State for the next 5 years and say, well, at least these players lose with integrity. Get the bleep out of here.
So I'll say this to answer your question, man. I'm a fan of Carter Smith. Contrary to what TJ said, I have watched his film and I do still like him. Okay. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and say that he is right now on the same level as Bryce Underwood. But here's what I will say about him. He's not a bum. He's still a 4-star QB. He's still got crazy talent. He's still got crazy potential to be able to grow into and learn. TJ and the other guys talk about Carter Smith's throwing motion. Throwing motions are corrected and fixed all the time within 1 to 2 years. Do I think that it was a lock for him to come in and be a starter? Possibly. I mean, with what we've been hearing about Jaden Davis, is Jaden Davis going to be ready? I could have seen him competing with Jaden Davis a little bit. Even if he didn't start, we got an OC right now, at least right now, that very obviously likes Carter Smith. Very obviously, contrary to how he's treated Alex Orji, wants to coach Carter Smith. Wanted to put him in a schemer for him and call plays for him. And even if he wasn't a starter, he still would have been a really good weapon to have to bring in for a changeup. Look at like what Washington did to us with their backup quarterbacks. He would have been a great talent to be able to do that, and it would have been someone to push Jaden Davis, to push Bryce Underwood, to push Brady Hart. And he had the right mentality. So do I think he's a better quarterback than Bryce Underwood? No, but do I think he would have been able to develop into a contributing quarterback and possibly a starter at some point if we needed him to? Yeah, I do.
Real quick, Mez, before you counter that, is there any definitive answer on why Carter Smith decommitted? Has he come out and said, listen, I decommitted because of X, Y, and Z?
Carter Smith himself hasn't said I decommitted because of X, Y, and Z. His dad did post the old Harbaugh clip of him saying that Michigan was transformational, not transactional. That was kind of telling. That said, I am not disagreeing with you guys about Carter Smith and like his edge or his ability to or willingness to come in and compete, although that is in question now, but I digress. Here's the thing. Carter Smith apparently a couple days before was like, "Hey, I'm locked in. This is it is what it is, right?" And then decided that he wasn't so locked in. I don't understand. Like we villainize. We are, by the way, there are people right now villainizing one quarterback and then shedding tears for another quarterback who gave assurances himself. By the way, the quarterback that you're villainizing never gave a damn insurance, by the way. But I digress. I don't want to bog this down with Carter Smith talk. No disrespect to Carter Smith again. Carter Smith will find the landing spot. I'm positive of it. He is a 2-time Florida state of Florida Gatorade Player of the Year. I expect that somebody wants Carter Smith. I've already heard rumors about LSU and other teams reaching out. By the way, if LSU is reaching out, why are you reaching out? Why are you reaching out? You got the guy that supposedly he left, decommitted from Michigan in your class, right? Why are you reaching out? All right. Anyway, in addition to Wu, in addition to Elijah Dotson, there is the situation with Grayson Littleton. Grayson Littleton, I'm sure some people are not familiar with, top 100 player in the country, cornerback, was committed to Clemson until about 45 minutes ago. He will also be on campus visiting the Michigan Wolverines. By the way, a few hours before that, I think it was my guy Jew, by the way, who's in the comment section, who shared with some people that Shamari Earls, the cornerback, top 100 player that Michigan is also in pursuit of, that is rumored to be flipping his commitment from Georgia to Michigan, had befriended or followed Mr. Grayson Littleton, and now look at the situation. People, shout out to Blueprint J, who's in here. Brando 2 times. It's been a minute since I've seen that name. Shout out to you. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that development? Do you think that he decommitted? By the way, he's released a statement talking about why, he's excited about Michigan. He hasn't yet committed, but that's why the name of this is on the clock. What are your thoughts on that, gentlemen, before we get to something else?
I mean, with Clemson's policy of no visits, I mean, it was clear he was going to decommit as soon as the visits started popping up. But I think there's a little bit of smoke there with him and Shamari, and Lamar Morgan is cooking in recruiting right now, man.
That's a fact.
Lamar
Morgan is in fuego, actually. That's a shout to my guy Maniac, who said something about permiso. I'm pretty sure that means excuse me. I'm getting Spanish lessons from Maniac as well as
Yeah, but with me, you gonna learn the sazon and adobo.
There we go.
We gonna season. That's what we do on this show. We cook, we season very well when we do it. Man, look, just real quick about Shamari, Littleton, and the whole crew. This is what we need, right? This is exactly what we need. We need America to understand that now Michigan is a real play in this. And I know Juju mentioned it. It's money. Yeah, that's it. You know what? Now, goal number 2 is if these guys do commit and, they stay committed, is making them culture guys. Listen, I know you here for X, Y, and Z, but this is how we do things around here. Now, remember, that's going to change everything regarding Michigan. Okay, Ripstar Mofongo, I see you, champ. And you have to understand that these players could be little diva-ish now, right? Because remember this. Imagine us at 18, 19 years old getting thrown this amount of money. And I could transfer the next year to another school. There's probably going to give me the same amount or more. It might happen. I'm not saying it's going to be something we're going to see all the time. But yes, do be prepared to see it. And also, does that make the coaches pump the brakes a little bit, right? Do you get in Underwood's face if he comes to Michigan and he's not balling because, oh, if I get in his face, he might transfer next year, right? Are you going to tiptoe now? Because that could be the case. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but to me, that could be the mindset moving forward, because these players, I'm like, you know what? That's how he going to talk to me. I'm out of here.
No, that's a great point. That's something to think about. That's something I'm sure not a lot of people have considered, is the fact that if you're paying somebody, as much as it's rumored that he'll be paid, including perks, how much leeway do you have to chew him out, especially in front of his teammates or whatever it is, right? By the way, pause on the chew out. But yeah, that's an excellent point. I'm glad you brought that up. Shout out to Kinetic, who's also engaging the fans in the chat. But yeah, so Littleton, Shamari Earls Sanders will be back on campus. Michigan's 2025 commit at cornerback, who's also an elite corner himself. That would be Lamar Morgan is really running up the numbers here. Between Lamar Morgan and Lou Esposito and their recruiting jobs, this could be something epic, by the way. Lou Esposito has been impressing me since the moment he stepped on campus. He's also been doing a good job with that defensive line. And he might have the only group, especially on defense, that we can really be like, oh, they're doing their job. Now, I hope he's not a part of putting my man Mason Graham at defensive end and all of that, because then I got to take some points away. All right, you was up here, but if that's the case, you right here, because I got to take points away from him if he's doing that. But anyway, we are on commit watch, so if anything happens, please chat, let us know, so we can get on it. Drew says if that little ball, he'd be the best assistant. Who we talking about, Drew? Are we talking about Lou? That can't be Lou. Anyway, I brought up as a joke in my chat with these guys, I believe, that with Sloan visiting Michigan, the state of Michigan, visiting Bryce Underwood's game, maybe they should just hire Sloan as the OC. It looks like that has taken some legs, and people have run with that a little bit. What do you guys think?
I mean, are you telling me we couldn't afford to pay our OC the same or better than what ECU is able to pay him as head coach?
I absolutely believe we could pay an OC the same.
How hilarious would it be if he comes up here to his game
he does need
to recruit for the other school, and we instead flip him with Underwood?
With that, by the way, that would be one of the most Godfather-like movie endings of all time. If Bryce opened the door and Sharon standing there with Sloan as his consigliere, they got the you know what I mean, the briefcase with the money in front. I want to see it. By the way, I will shoot that movie. By the way, I will attend that film.
I just want to say in the chat, somebody echoed what I said to you guys the other day when we were talking about it. Send Tom Brady down there to intercept Sloan at the game. See who gets Underwood's attention more, Sloan or Tom Brady.
Absolutely. They might have to shut the game down. Game shut down. By the way, I saw this in one of these chats I'm in, because I'm in several chats. Somebody said, what if Bryce commits and then is the honorary captain of the game, walks out there, and they might rush the field. There's no game to be played or rushing the field.
Right.
Speaking of
Bryce,
send
Brady and Woodson to Underwood's game.
Bro, over. Speaking of Bryce, I spoke with my guy, another one of my guys who I've interviewed on the channel. So do your research. I'm not giving names. I've already given you too much. All right. I spoke with my guy. He said Bryce may have been in the box last week And when he says may have been in the box, that was a wink, wink in one of the luxury boxes last week for the game, because I think they understand if Bryce comes out there with the other recruits. First of all, LSU knows that something's fishy. Secondly, the place might riot, right?
Right.
At this point, that same guy told me that he may or may not be in the vehicle traveling to A2 with his high school teammate, Mr. Elijah Dotson.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, his family was at the game, but he wasn't. I heard. I didn't know where he was, but I had heard that he had special arrangements.
Special arrangements. What are your thoughts on that?
What you think, Maniac?
Maniac has muted himself. He's in these.
Gotcha.
He's in these New York streets.
No, I mean, look. You know, we've heard that he's trying to keep things quiet as much as possible because he wants to be respectful of the school that he's currently committed to, and I get that. I actually applaud that. But you're not going to convince me that his people are there and he's not. His family, his friends are coming to the games and he's not there when he lives 20 minutes away. I mean, and if he wants to keep it quiet, we'll do whatever needs to be done to keep it quiet.
Right. Okay. For the people who are upset about the Carter Smith thing, right? And I'm not making light of that. It is what it is, right? You have a right to be upset about that. But if you are upset about that, and my guy does commit, and by the way, I'm talking about Bryce, if he commits, are you still upset? Do you like Carter Smith that much that you're still upset about that?
Yes.
Kinetic says yes. What say the rest of you? By the way, Kinetic, explain that.
I'm upset about it because, like I said from the beginning, when Underwood chose another school, Carter chose us. When we didn't have an NIL to speak of, Carter chose us. The other guy didn't pick up the phone and seriously consider us until we had that NIL support. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Underwood. If we get him, we're going to be great. But I feel like Carter Smith deserved our respect for the way that he gave us his respect. And the fact that he was so solid up until now, up until a couple days before last weekend's game, I mean, everybody except for one person was saying that he's locked in, he's not going to decommit, none of that. And then they had some meeting with him and did something at that game that changed everything. That makes me think that something wasn't handled properly in from the coaching staff to Carter Smith. Did he know beforehand? Did they keep him in the loop, or did they spring it on him? Did they lie to him about something? What changed for him to be locked in for almost a year, as solid as he was, up to days before he had some meeting with them, and then to flip like that? I feel like something was done disrespectfully from the staff to him, and that's got me upset.
Yeah. Okay. So, look, this is what I'll say, right? First of all, how many times we seen recruits commit to a school for over a year, then they decommit?
Right.
It happened many times. That's one. Two, if this was Georgia, this was Alabama, this was Ohio State, what we would be saying, yo, they smart for doing what they doing. We might not agree with it, but we gonna respect it. If Michigan wants to stay at that an elite level, these are the kind of things they got to do. Unfortunately, people got to get sacrificed in the process. And Carter Smith just happened to be one. I'm just sorry. It's a dirty Kinetic. I get it. It's a dirty business now. It's a business. College football is a business now. We got to live with reality. It is what it is. Yes, it could have been handled better. I agree with that. I'm not saying that, you just do that to a recruit. No, you got to be respectful. I agree with that part. But we also got to understand, I've seen recruits committed to Michigan for a year, then decommit, and nobody's shitting on him. Well, he's a kid, man. Let him go to it. Well, listen, Michigan wants to be up there every year. These are the things that's going to happen. And like I said, unfortunately, Carter Smith, he has to be, a sacrificial lamb in the process.
Hey,
So
shout out to Detroit Kyle right there. You want to hit that, Madman?
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Detroit
there
Kyle
you
for
go.
the
There you
$20
go.
super chat. He says wrong. Carter Smith committed prior. Hell nah. I'm not tripping on losing Carter. Elite schools pull 2 quarterback classes all the time. Chill. Competition breeds champions. Underwood commands juice, and we didn't have it when he committed.
And
That's a
also
that's a
one last
snapple
thing,
cap fact.
man. Connecticut as well. Currently, Ohio State has 2 5-stars. Whether you want to call Air Nolan a high 4 fringe 5-star, but many sites has him as a 5-star. Julian Sayin is a 5-star. They have
Right.
another 5-star coming in their next class.
Right.
That's 3 5-stars competing for one job next season. You don't stop. You try to
Devin
get
Brown is still there.
everybody as you can. Your competition, it's important, man. And we've seen this year, if there's one position that we gotta agree with, this is quarterback. Look what Michigan's look, because we didn't have a quarterback. So we're not
That's a
trying to
fact.
go through that shit again. This been a nightmare. This shit been Michael Myers, Jason, and Freddie all in one. Nightmare. Disgusting. So
No doubt.
I don't
It's
want to
been real
live through
Shabba
this. Real Shabba Ranks, real Sam Cassell, real Tyrone Hill.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's hard for me to believe that a guy that was committed to us through everything for almost a year, and who all the way up until a week ago was cool with competition, according to everybody. Suddenly, you're not gonna convince me that he's suddenly scared of competition. I feel like there was a breakdown somewhere of respect, and that's the part that's got me upset. I feel like when someone shows you loyalty, you got to show them that same respect back.
No doubt.
Even if you're cutting bait with them, it's not like the coaches said we that we don't want you anymore because we got a better QB coming in or something. They still wanted him to come, but something changed in that relationship.
Isn't that what loyalty? Isn't that the loyalty you talk about right there? If
Right,
they would have said, "Yo, we don't want you," that would feel more disrespectful.
Right, but what I'm saying is that if there wasn't some kind of breakdown there of that where he felt disrespected, lied to, or misled or something, why would a kid who is, and maybe it was all a show, maybe it was fake, but I haven't seen anything to indicate this, that everybody and their brother was saying he's down with the competition. He wants to compete. Iron sharpens iron. He's in for it. He's locked in. He's not going anywhere, even if we get Underwood. Something changed.
Toast, chill, bro. Look. Here's by the way, me and Kinetic have been hamming this out for days now, right? The Maniac has had to be a mediator. You should see our chats. By the way, this is my brother, and nothing's gonna change that. And we probably, some of the back and forths were probably we should have saved for the show, if I'm being honest. That said, I am a strong believer in iron sharpens iron, right? Still sharpens still, whatever. Right now, you can look at the quarterback room and you can tell we out there with plastic. We got those plastic swords you used to get, with the plastic sheath.
You mean you're not a believer after beating MSU?
That's what we out there with right now. We got the plastic swords with the sheaths right now.
I thought you were on team Warren now.
Huh?
I thought you were on team Make-A-Wish now.
Yo, I am on Team Make-A-Wish now. By the way, I have no choice but to be on Team Make-A-Wish. All right. Shout out to Davis Warren. And shout out to Yellow Blackbird, who always gets Davis Warren's name wrong. Calls this man Warren Davis.
Hey, it's all love with Davis Warren. If he happens to see this show, I am not saying that as an insult. I just think it's a cool tagline to lean into.
No, absolutely. By the way, and again, I don't want to make light of him surviving cancer.
Not at all.
That's great. But yeah, we do got the shout out to CJ Mike, man. No more plastic swords. We can't go out here with the plastic swords no more. We need some real Japanese made. We need some what's the joint from Game of Thrones? the steel they was using.
Valerian Steel. Valerian Steel.
Valerian Steel. We need some Valerian Steel. And my man, my man Bryce Underwood is Valerian Steel. All right. I'm not calling Carter Smith plastic. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's a difference. All right. And I wish he would have stayed in the class because I do believe, having that person behind, even, if Bryce twists his ankle or something, right? Knock on some wood, that doesn't happen. By the way, Bryce isn't in the class yet, so let's also consider that. But yeah, shout out to my guy JOJ just entered the building. I don't think
What up,
Carter
Johnny?
Smith could compete with Underwood. That's a fact. Nobody. By the way, I would never say he could compete.
I mean, I'm not even making that case.
One of those guys could play year one. All right, that's the point,
Right.
Kinetic. Right,
Absolutely.
One of those guys could play right now. And by the way, one of those guys is better than everybody on Michigan's roster at the position right now. And then the other guy would just fit in. No disrespect.
I mean, I get Kinetic's point, right? I get it, Kinetic. There might have been a disconnect there where you feel like Carter Smith was done dirty. You felt like they did him dirty. So the thing is this. People can't villainize Michigan now, right? They can't, oh, look what y'all did. Every school does it. Every single school. It's a business now. Again, could they handle it better? That's why I was asking early on, has anybody heard any quotes regarding why he decommitted? Because I would like to get to the root of that and see why he has to say so that we could put this to rest, right? I don't think he's the type of player to drag Michigan through the mud, right? So even if it was Michigan's fault, he might keep it very simple and reserved. Like, well, you know what? It was a mutual thing. I just decided to go my way. So look, but let's put it like this, though. If we don't get Underwood, right? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, we are in the back. Okay, so look, we did lose a 4-star quarterback, right? At the end of it, he did decommit. In fact, he was I think rated like 150 something in the nation. And he decommitted. Right now, Michigan is almost, that my last video title is real, all in for Bryce Underwood, because if they don't get Bryce Underwood, then they got to go back out here and start fishing again. And that's kind of crazy to even think about at this point. And I don't feel like we're considering that enough, but I also feel like it's a no-brainer that if Bryce Underwood is even, if there's a chance, then they got to do it. What everybody has reported, not just what I've been told, what everybody has reported is Michigan refuses to be outbid. So whatever that number is, Michigan's gonna hit the number, right? So now it just comes down to, does the home cooking,
if we lose on Underwood, it's not going to be because of NIL. We're not losing an NIL battle again.
Exactly.
That's real quick. Happen. Shout out to Mr. Glasper. I'm currently showing over 210 people watching the video and only 7 likes. Let's get those numbers up before Maize Madman gets upset, guys.
Oh yeah, I'm upset. We don't got enough likes. It's disrespect. All right. Anyway, my guy John, I'm proud of Michigan taking a chance here with the answer is right there. You do whatever it takes. That is a fact. Shout out to John, which, by the way, John, we got to schedule you to come on the show. My guy Keegan is upset. I'm upset. Everybody's upset. We all upset. We got to get this. We got to get this done. Got to go all in for Underwood. He's the number 1 player. By the way, the numbers came out. Apparently, he would have been number 1 last year. He's number 1 this year. He is generationally good, fellas. Generationally good. This guy is going to be good no matter where he goes, right? He could go play for East. Let me not put that in the ethos. I was going to say ECU, but with Sloan out here doing what he's doing, I don't even want there to be some, I'm not going to put that out there. But he could go play anywhere and be successful is the point. Mike said he liked it twice. I'm upset. Before we move on to another recruit, y'all got what y'all need to get out about this whole thing?
No, I mean, I pretty much said what I feel on the whole situation. What about you, Maniac?
Yeah, I don't want to. We look, man. We all feel the way we feel about it. I get it. There's some Michigan fans that, they on the fence regarding this whole Underwood situation. I mean, I don't know what to really make out of it, but shit. If we land him, I'm gonna be happy because again, you said he's a generational player, right? We had like
Right.
Jabril Peppers. We saw JJ McCarthy. Why he brought to Michigan? The dude never lost a regular season game. JJ never lost a regular season game as a starting quarterback. Let that sink in. He was a 5-star. When you have elite quarterback, you're going to be good, man. As long as you put the pieces around them, and Michigan is that place, man. But let's see, because there's also always got to be a backup plan, right? Because there's nothing guaranteeing life, right? The only thing guaranteeing life is what? Taxes, death, and Ohio State choking. So there you have it.
I will say that I've come around on Underwood quite a bit since this all started, but I don't think I have to be down on Carter Smith to be up on Underwood. I think I can still be in both camps at the same time.
Sabri, I got you.
And I see it in the chat. It's not impossible that we do get Underwood. From everything I've heard, and this is gonna chafe a lot of people, but from what I understand, Bryce Underwood likes Kurt Campbell, and if we get Underwood, I don't think we're getting rid of Kurt Campbell. He might get demoted, not be the play caller.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
But I don't think we're getting rid of him.
We're always gonna need somebody to hand out water.
They've sold him and these other recruits, these high profile wide receivers, the running backs, the Jasper Parkers, the Savion Hyder, the Andrew Marsh, and all these guys that we're talking to on the idea that they want to open up the playbook, that they want to have more of a passing balance with the playbook compared to previous years, but we don't have the talent to do it, and they're the talent that we need to do it. And that's so to say that we're not going to get them because we don't have the staff to develop them. You're basing that on the fact that they're not able to develop Davis Warren, Jack Tuttle, or Alex Orji into a quarterback throw into Tyler Morris and Fred Moore. We don't know what they can do if they got a Bryce Underwood throwing to Meadows and Marsh and Washington and whoever else comes.
No, that's real.
Yeah.
And shout out to Juju, who say he never had a problem with Campbell plays. I'm guessing that's the plays, just the timing of it. That's the thing that I have a problem with. I brought that up many times on this channel. It's the play calling is what I have a problem with. The plays themselves or whatever, right? The play calling, and that's a skill. And Sharon Moore has that skill, and I wish he would have taken the play calling over a little earlier in the season. I mean, and he still hasn't, but I'm just saying that he has the skill, and Kirk Campbell hasn't shown that he has the skill to play call. Although last week there was that one drive where the play calling was great and that creativity was excellent, but we need some more of that. And again, the timing of it, like Juju brought up, all of that matters.
One last thing regarding Kirk Campbell. If I'm not mistaken, DK, if I'm not mistaken, he was the OC for when Michigan played UNLV. Somebody correct me if I'm not mistaken. He was the OC for that game. You saw the way Michigan did to them. We moved the ball at will. So, sometimes you need those players. And I get it, True Kinetic. You're right. You want to see some improvement, at least with Orji, Tuttle, and Davis Warren, which we saw in his last game, Davis Warren. And you mentioned Kinetic. I want to give you your flowers on that as well, because you mentioned many times of the 3 quarterbacks, the one quarterback that has the easiest flaws to correct is Davis Warren, which was a fact. So again, one thing we haven't seen is consistency. Why? Because let him throw 3 interceptions tomorrow. They gonna flame him in the chat. They gonna hate him. I never want to see him in my life again. So let's see.
I don't think we can. I don't think we can really judge Davis Warren or our coaching staff on a loss to Oregon. If it's an ugly loss, maybe, but realistically, one of the top 2, if not top teams in the nation, and we've got a team that's not on that level. We cannot.
Well, they're number 1 right now.
We can't tear down our guys over a loss to Oregon.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. One last. No. I'm not saying losing. Not the losing. It's how he plays, right? Let's say he throws 3 interceptions. It's like, bro, like people gonna be upset. We could lose and he could play a good game, right? It's how you look doing it. So let's see. Look, I just, like all of us, I want to win tomorrow. Is it gonna happen? That remains to be seen. But also, if y'all not doing nothing, 12 o'clock, tune in to the watch party tomorrow. Ohio State, Penn State, me, the man, Kinetic. We're going to be in there. Make sure y'all tune in. It's going to be fire. I promise you I'm not going to have no Hennies.
No doubt, man. So definitely check out the watch party tomorrow because we got mad James Franklin jokes, mad Ryan Day jokes on deck. Be there or be square. Before another thing, people talking about what Michigan's going to do at quarterback. Obviously, in the 2025 class, it would be kind of dire if we don't land Bryce Underwood. Everybody knows that. But Brady Hart is committed in 2026. Brady Hart, by the way, is going to be on campus this week. You think Brady Hart is going to run because there's a potential to have Bryce Underwood on or in the fold here or on the roster? I don't think so. So we got to keep that in mind too. There's going to be the recruiting class. I promise you is going to be stacked, and that's to some degree if Bryce commits or not, right? Just on what we're hearing here, what's going on, all the motion that's happening. It's just that if Bryce commits, when we say stacked, it's going to be, even to that next level. And that's just a fact. That's just the way it is right now. I was going to get into some other things, but I know my guy got to get out of here. He got to get his hair cut. Shout out to the Maniac.
No, I got it. He's gonna I probably got another 10-15 minutes.
Oh, bet you got a good wait there. Kinetic, I'm gonna play that league game at some point. By the way, it looks like I play you in week 2 in one of those joints.
Yeah, we coming up. Last time we played in your place when you were playing USC. This time you coming to the big house.
Yeah. Shout out to that. I need some revenge too. Ramez says we lose recruits because of NIL and then again lose Underwood because it's not just about NIL. F this, right? Shout out to Ramez. Before NIL did play a part in Michigan losing some recruits. Now Michigan seems to have gotten their NIL thing in gear, and it's not a slam dunk for the guy that they really want. But I do think the chances are rising with every passing minute. I will say that. He wanted to play down south. Money can match that. He did want to play down south. He spoke about that. LSU being a dream school, all of that, right? At the same time, something to be the local hero and the playing at the crib, getting more money than you've ever seen before.
Well, but and I don't want to just keep like taking words out of our friend TJ's mouth here, but he addressed this too. It's like, yeah, he when he grew up, when he was watching football growing up, the SEC was the top dogs. They had the high flying passing offenses. The Big Ten didn't have that, but Michigan changed the game and it's continuing to evolve. Big Ten is arguably on the same level or better than SEC is now. And Bryce isn't blind. He can see that change happening. So while he, growing up for years, he's idolized the SEC and their style of play. He's not blind to what's changing in the Big Ten.
I said Johnny had on that Johnny Gill shirt today. Hey, yo. That's crazy. Link is in the chat, though. I forgot to do that. We were supposed to do that. Link is in the chat. Johnny, if you want to come up, anytime. You already know. The link is in the chat for anybody who wants to come up. Drew, I know Drew is out here. If you want to come up, come on up. That said, I'm gonna say because I'm sure I'm gonna have to do a video later on some commits. So we're gonna give it a few minutes before we get out of here. I'm gonna let my man get his haircut. I'm gonna let Kinetic get back and prepare for this ass whooping I'm about to lay on him. Pause on this
Come
video
on,
game whenever we advance the season.
You gonna stream it so people can see us play?
I'm definitely streaming it. I got to get some get back. My guy Steven has joined the chat. Was good, Steven?
What's good, Playboy?
Chilling regular.
Hey, Boxing Mania, what up, son? What up, son? I just messed with you, man. It's all good.
What up? What up?
What up, kid? You smell me? I already want to say that to you, dog.
Listen, real quick. Look, I'm right now. I'm in Dykeman.
Okay. I know.
So you really in these streets.
This is little Dominican Republic, and for my single guys, you will love this place over here. This thing.
Hey, you would. Hey, trust me, it's a lot of Boricuas out there. Woo!
Word.
So what I'm hearing is party at Maniac's house. Is that right?
Party at Maniac's house.
Absolutely,
definitely gonna be doing. We need to stream live from Dykeman. That's a great idea.
My question. So this is now I'm not saying I'm up about tomorrow's game or down. I saw the report that some major guys are not supposed to be playing, because they haven't practiced all week. I don't know if it's Graham or Grant. I don't know. I want to see, and like Johnny O says, man, I got shout out to my boy Johnny O. At some point, especially at this late in the season, you want to see growth and you want to see like grit. Even if they lose, at least play like you care. Now, Oregon is number one. Oregon is talented. I'm not going to say that they're unbeatable, but I just want to see Michigan play like they care, because we got to understand that next year the team is going to be very young. Yeah. Some of these guys are going to lose their job. It's just the fact the portal going to be crazy next year. Michigan has shown people, hey, we got the money too now. Well, they've been had the money, so all I want to see is determination and some heart. With that being said, does anybody think that realistically these coordinators are coaching for their job tomorrow? Like Wink or Kirk? Because I know y'all said that Kirk might get demoted, but I'm talking about if he gets demoted, he might as well leave Michigan.
So in my opinion. Let me. I got some new. I don't think Wink's going anywhere.
No.
There's that. Let me just. Wink's not going anywhere. Unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it. If we're talking about the on-field production, then maybe unfortunately. If we're talking about what is in line to happen, then maybe fortunately. So it's just the lens you look at it through. It's either a good thing or bad thing about Wink holding on to his job for another year. In terms of Kirk Campbell, I do think he can lose his job. In fact, I'm not saying his job is gone, but from the people I've spoken to, there's going to be some conversations to be had.
Well, I mean, it went. First of all, coordinators get demoted from play caller all the time, and they don't leave. They can still be a good scheme coordinator. They can still be a good position coach, and not be a good play caller. And
we're coming to you next.
And Michigan has had co-OCs many times, so there's nothing stopping us from saying, "Hey, Kirk, we're going to keep you on. You're still going to have a hand in our scheming, in QB development, all of that stuff. But we're going to bring in somebody else as a co-OC to bring in their twist on the scheme to open things up a bit, and for play calling. Or Sharon might take play calling back. But I don't think it's a given that if they demote him from play caller or even from OC that he's just going to leave, because it happens all the time.
Yeah, I agree. Maniac, you're muted, by the way. Not sure if you knew that.
No, no, I know because there's a
Okay.
lot of noise. So
Oh yeah, yeah,
whenever
yeah.
y'all talking, I mute it. So I don't want nobody hearing sirens and girls twerking
Cool.
and stuff like that. You know, it
Another
is
year
like
of
that.
Wink.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
the
so
girls are
I'm
fine. The
excited.
sirens, no, the girls are fine. The girls are fine.
Right.
No, I'm just messing.
Steve, I hear you.
No doubt. Cam has joined the conversation. Cam was good.
Hey, what's good? What's going on, everybody? Go blue, man.
Go blue.
Go blue.
Go blue.
Um, I got 2 points about the recruiting and with the aspects of the coaching. Now, the recruiting, they killing it. They doing their thing. They killing it. And I think Bryce Underwood come here
Ooh. Hey,
or
the portal took you for a minute, Cam.
oh my bad. For the past 2 years, he was looking at the play calling. It wasn't no enhancing in the play calling. So I think that's
Right.
why he picked LSU because y'all got to remember this man don't even have to talk to Michigan. He don't have to say nothing. This man is coming out saying things through his agent or whatever y'all want to call it. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So, and Manny, remember we was talking about what he said about Michigan. He said that because it was hurting his heart. It was his hometown. This is his hometown, and he would love to play for Michigan in his hometown. But if you ain't gonna throw the damn ball and you not gonna get, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's why
Um.
I think he feel the way he feel.
Yeah, well, I think this, Cam. You got to know, right? Just simple. Me and you, we recruiters for Michigan. Yes, we are a
Yeah,
run heavy team. If we recruit in Underwood, I'm 1,000% sure the staff told them, listen, we'll open it up for you. We'll
yeah,
definitely open it up. We're not gonna handcuff your talent and just have you hand it off 30 times, maybe 20 times, but because you want balance, right? So I don't know the kid personally. I don't know what was said when Michigan was recruiting him. I'll just say this. I hope he comes now. That's it.
No
Because we're
doubt.
gonna throw it.
No doubt. And that's the thing too, man. It's all about the personnel, bro. Michigan didn't have the personnel to be tossing the ball around the
tossing
yard.
the ball around.
Right.
Yeah,
They had the line to block. They had, you know, my guy Blake and the Don and good tight end and that's what it was built around, bro. They had these little guys at receiver and they still got little guys at receiver. It's not built that way yet, right? You get a guy like Bryce Underwood, you get guys like Gatch and Babalola and Marsh. Now the team starts to look different already, right? But you have to have the talent, bro. You can't just go out here and say, "Yo, we gonna throw it down the field." With these Smurfs we got at receiver and stuff like that. It's just not gonna happen. It's not gonna go down like that. But anyway, Steven, Cam, I gotta drop you guys because we got a legend coming up. But before you go,
No
give us
doubt, no
a score prediction, Steven, on the game tomorrow.
doubt. Man, no, I'm not going. I mean, I got to see who plays. If what I'm hearing is true, and certain guys are out, I want Will Johnson to play because I know Evan Stewart might be. I don't know, man. I just play hard. Well, I'll give you one.
Just
Michigan
play.
28, Michigan 27, Oregon 26. Man, oh
Ah,
man.
all
Hey,
right.
on
Shout
that,
out to
real quick, I
Steven.
just want to say, man, there's been a lot of talk about people sitting out, shutting it down for the season. But that's all. All I've seen that in is the comments on the message boards from everyone that knows anybody that knows something. All I've heard is that our team ain't doing that. The players
Yeah,
love each other too much. They want to play. It's not a situation of someone playing, not playing when they could.
no doubt. Shout out to Steven. We appreciate you coming through. You're a madman. Cam, give us a score prediction before you get out of here.
Um, mm. Okay, Michigan side, I say 21-17. But
Twenty-one seventeen.
the real side, and Right now, how we looking? I say 42-10.
42-10. No doubt. Shout out to Cam.
Yeah.
Keep watching, man. You're a madman. We got to get to absolute Michigan media legend here. This new media anyway. YouTube legend, my guy, your guy, the king in the north, Mr. Johnny Orden. What's good?
Johnny,
Hey,
My bad.
what up, y'all? What up? What up?
What up?
Man, this Underwood stuff is going crazy.
It is going crazy. Are those? Did Johnny pull out the buffs on us?
The buffs, we bring out the buffs for the game.
Oh, hold on.
Johnny, you got your ticket on the Wink Martindale train for another year?
Yeah.
No,
Yo, Johnny, you just recovered a fumble, man. Yo, intercepted it, man. You got them bugs on it. Yo, they looking clean on you, champ. They looking clean on you. Like it.
I'm not down for Wink another year, bro. I can't say that I want him another year, bro. You had now if this was Wink on offense, like if he had the offensive roster, bro, you had a ready-made defense that should have been at least top 15, top 20. Now they're still good, but for any of us that really know the team, we know, bro, you wasted a year of this defense, really.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That's just how I feel about it. You wasted a year of this defense with all these first rounders. Josiah Stewart's probably a first rounder now.
Oh, absolutely.
I've
said for a while that I think that Wink being here for a couple years, his whole purpose of being here is to take somebody like Lamar Morgan and mentor him the way that he did Mike McDonald and Jesse Minter, to let him take over the reins. And I don't think you do that in 1 year. I think it can be done in 2 years.
You think that's what's happening?
I mean, that's what I've thought since the day he was hired, especially because Lamar Morgan was recommended by Jesse Minter, but it was widely talked about that he was a defensive coordinator in the making, but he wasn't ready yet.
Listen, okay. I hope that that's the case, because right now, between Wink and the tackling of that secondary, the mentoring needs to turn a corner. They need to ramp it up.
I agree.
No doubt. But I will say Lamar is recruiting his ass off. There's no doubt about it. 2 top 100 safeties. I think Kai Panamaya slipped down a little bit, but top 100 corners, on the verge of committing. He's doing his job there, but definitely we want to see it get better. Johnny, go ahead. I didn't want to cut your wisdom.
Oh, you straight, bro. The recruiting is doing better in every other area. I mean, you got Brady Hart coming, but this is the thing with the Bryce Underwood. You know what I'm saying? You have to take the chance at getting this dude. Your home state son. I grew up in Michigan. A part of him wants to go to Michigan. I promise. Unless he grew up loving Michigan State or something, a part of him wants to go there. You just saw the Natty. JJ McCarthy is a legend about God status in Michigan. Now just imagine if you're from Michigan, down the street from Ann Arbor, and you manage to get another title and bring it home. Plus you get in the bag.
You ain't paying for nothing in Michigan.
This is what I say. You win a Natty at Michigan as Bryce Underwood, it's gonna mean way more than if you win one at LSU.
Well, see, Madman and I were just having the conversation along those lines the other day, and he was telling me that Bryce's family was all Michigan State fans, that they weren't even Michigan fans.
See, now if that's true, then it might not mean as much, and that might be why he's thinking LSU.
Connecticut, why you got to pull all the cards you can for a way for Bryce not to come to Michigan. We need Bryce at Michigan.
I'm on board with it more now than I ever have been. I just know my reservations.
I ain't gonna front. Everybody was talking, and I'm not big on recruiting. I leave that to y'all. I don't be having the time for it.
Yeah.
But I went and watched his film.
It's crazy.
He's a dog.
Absolutely.
The arm angles, it's everything. Rolling to the left, throw it like it's crazy.
Yeah, he's that dude. So when I saw that, I said, okay, hey, give him the bag if you got to give it to him. Give it to him. I mean,
and Michigan has the bag, Santa Claus size bag. They're
Right.
coming.
Santa Claus bag where you just keep reaching in there, more shit just keep coming out. Oh, we got.
And
Is that a Lamborghini?
I hate to say it, but what's happening this year is becoming a blessing in disguise for the program, because if we just had an all right season, like this is a bad season, right? We all agree on that. This is
no
bad.
doubt. No doubt.
If we had just an all right season where
Johnny, hold on, Johnny. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm gonna go get that cut. My brothers.
Yes, sir.
Johnny,
Yes, sir.
I mean, if you ain't doing nothing tomorrow, champ, we gonna have the watch party.
Yeah, I'll jump in. I got you.
Copy, my brothers. Have a good one.
Later.
But yeah, if we're 9-3, we probably don't get this influx of money and people like, what is going on? What do we have to do to get this right? You get what I'm saying? So this is really a blessing in disguise, because now all the big time players are like, all right, I got money. What do you need? What do I have to do to get this right? So because if we don't get Underwood, we still are having the money right there for the collective, for everything, for the NIL, to get the program where it should.
Portal, right? That's
the thing. So Johnny, you
Portal
saying this was Harbaugh's plan all along?
He's a mastermind. Doggone Harbaugh is a mastermind.
Absolutely. So and again, Johnny brings up a good point here. Like Michigan getting their ass kicked, like they've been getting their ass kicked this year, has prompted the people with the deep pockets to be like, wait a damn minute. Especially coming with that natty. I think all of it is the perfect storm, right? You get the natty, then the very next year you look like this, and they like, wait a damn minute, we can't go back. We can't go backwards. You know what I mean?
As much as we want to sit here and say that it looks that and freak out over the idea that, oh, we look bad on the field, so it's going to drive recruits away. The reality is these recruits are very receptive to the whole, you can be our savior. You're the tool that we need. This is what we want to do. We can't do it because we don't have you. Recruits want to hear that, man. They want to hear that they're the fix for the problem.
And it's damn sure and a chance to start early at almost every position here after this season for sure. Real quick though, Treppa says Treppa Cole says Michigan passing out bags is not and will never fit the Michigan culture. Bro, you gotta get with the times.
Let me respond to that, because that's what I'm talking about, man. I think it is possible. This is what's going to set us apart from a lot of other schools, where a lot of other schools just throw money at the kids, get them in and see what happens. I want the kids that want to be here, and I want those kids to get paid. But we don't necessarily have to bring in the money first kids. Bring in the kids that are good, that want to be here, and get them paid. That's
real quick,
the Michigan culture in the NIL era.
Real quick, one of my other state guys here, he's watching the show currently. He didn't jump in the chat to say this, but he sends me a message privately here, saying that we're the most, not one of the most, the most. By the way, I don't know what's going on with Marmar, but all right, the most unrealistic fan base on the face of the earth. This is a quote. It's wild, man. You got 3 weeks, and then reality is gonna hit. He's one of those guys.
The fact none of you this year right now.
Yeah. You know what? You're right, man. Hey, don't send us this trash right now, bro. This ain't the time. All right. He's
still just having trouble coping with the 3 losses the last 3 years, and he's just hoping that the NCAA gives him something to point at to excuse it, so he don't have to feel bad about losing.
No doubt, man. Go blue. We celebrating possibilities right now. You talking about the hammer that's been coming for however long y'all been saying it's coming.
The hammer is coming. I'm so tired of this hammer.
It's one of them Fisher Price hammers, is what it is, bro. Y'all got the builder.
But yeah, Treppa Treppa is gonna be pessimistic regardless. A lot of Ohio State fans, they won't speak realistic about Michigan regardless. It's always every year, the last 4 years, counting this one, it's always been pessimistic. You lost Aiden and Ojabo, you lost Dax Hill. They thought we were gonna be bad then. Next year, you lost Mike Morris, you lost this guy, you lost this one. The next year, they won the title. Okay, now you lost Harbaugh. So finally it hit for you.
Right.
So now all of
you know what it is? They see us doing all this with NIL and they're like, dang, now they got NIL, they're better at that than us too.
It's making them nervous because they know that's gonna even the playing field. Michigan has been behind on that.
Hey, which one of y'all know how to say this name?
I think it's Hannelore.
I never know how to say it.
Yeah. I don't.
Hannelore.
I don't want to
give her a trophy for that comment though. That's the comment of the night.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Hannelore. That team in 3 weeks needs to worry about why they tried to buy a natty and they won't win. Facts.
And
Facts.
honestly,
how they gonna feel if they spend all that money this year and don't win the natty? We spend a little money this year and we do win another one before they get one.
And honestly, watching that Nebraska game,
shambles.
Y'all, the cockiness.
Sleep
I don't
if
know
you
why
want.
y'all so cocky. That gave us plenty of hope.
Sleep if you want. Shout out to Faith Thomas and Laura. We
get
appreciate
back on here if you can, Mama. Figure out your connection. Get back on here.
Yeah.
That Nebraska game gave us plenty of hope that we can. Hey, we probably can still beat y'all this year.
Hey, are you gonna jump?
Michigan wins this year.
If we go into Columbus and we win, and it's schemed right on offense and defense, if Davis Warren goes out there and balls, y'all gonna keep? Are y'all gonna jump on Kirk Campbell, the wink, and the Davis Warren train finally?
I mean, they're gonna get off for a little bit. I'm gonna be happy.
If Michigan go into that vile, disgusting cesspool in Columbus and walks out with another W, I never want to hear a thing from that fan base again until you win a natty. Then you can talk to us. Faith Thomas has joined the chat. Faith, how you doing?
What up, Faith?
I graduated from community college, but I have a cousin who went to Michigan, so that's why I came on.
No doubt. Congratulations to your cousin, and congratulations to you for graduating. Are you? Is your mic covered? We can barely hear you.
Oh, it's probably my face. Coach, can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, I can't hear. I'm not trying to be rude and ignore. I can't hear anything you're saying.
Yeah, it's very low. I'm sorry.
All right. Hold on.
I don't want me not responding to come off as being rude or anything. I can't hear you.
Can y'all hear me now?
No, it's still very low. But go ahead. I'll relay. You know, I'm able to hear a little better than everybody else.
So, I grew up as a college football fan by virtue of my dad. So, I have different conferences that I root. I root for conferences because once y'all get to the playoffs, hands clean.
Right.
I love the traditions of Michigan.
Right.
What you guys need to do for the players is make sure they have that grind mentality. Not that, oh, we have a championship, so we don't need to work mentality.
Absolutely.
Watch what J.J. McCarthy did every game. He did meditation. He got his mind right first before he went on the field. That's what coach needs to do. Make sure you get your mind right before you can play right.
No doubt. I agree, Faith. I appreciate you coming up to. I'm gonna relay what you just said. Faith basically said, if you watch JJ McCarthy, he meditated before the games. He got his mind right. The mindset of Michigan doesn't need to be we won a championship so we can rest on our laurels. It needs to be we need to keep grinding.
Think of it like a tree. The roots, the coach. The coach teaches the offense, teaches the defense, teaches the special teams.
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Faith, real quick, because I'm not trying to rush you off. I don't want you to think I'm trying to rush you off either. Give us a score prediction for the game tomorrow.
38-36. It's gonna come down
38-36.
it's gonna come down to the special teams.
No doubt. Shout out to Faith. We appreciate you. Come up again. Faith said 38-36. Good guys. Comes down to special teams. What's your thoughts?
Hey, we need special teams. we got to play a complete game. Hey,
we got to play a
this ain't
damn
a
near
joke.
perfect
You know,
game.
I get on teams' heads, but
right.
Oregon's for real. Like,
yeah,
offense, defense, and special teams. They could break it open in any one of them ways. You know what I'm saying? So Michigan has to play a complete game. Offense, the defense really needs to play lights out, but the offense has to help them out. Can move the ball, play so we can play complementary football.
Right.
You can't be the defense playing well and then it's 3 and out. They back on the field playing well, 3 and out. They're gonna crack sooner or later, or Wink is gonna wink sooner or later. One or the other.
Wink is gonna wink.
It's gonna happen. You know it's gonna happen when they play it well. He gonna call for something when he shouldn't, and we just gonna get beat because he called the wrong defense. So
damn it, man. Hey, first of all, I want to say this, man. Look, everybody is not as blessed as other people to be able to speak as clearly as maybe you can, right? Like, don't disrespect Faith, who came up here, spent her, took the chance coming up here to say what she had to say on her mind. We're gonna show her and everybody else some respect who come up here to do that. So I want to be clear on that. Like,
absolutely,
show some respect.
Don't disrespect people like that. Definitely,
no doubt.
Hey, some people are nervous about coming on here, man. I was nervous the first time I came on. Madman had to talk me into coming on. I was nervous about coming on here the first time. So anyone that's willing to jump on here and put themselves out there like that, give them respect.
Hell yeah. And there's 300 people in here watching, and she still came up here. So shout out to her for that. Steven, what's good?
I wanted to clarify something. So earlier I said that I'm hearing players won't be playing. I never said they were sitting out, because people in the chat were like, well, they're not sitting out. I'm hearing players are injured, not sitting out. So I'm not saying like people are just have given up on the season. That ain't how Michigan does it. They made that mistake, I think, in 2018, when they had Hudson and Bush and Gary and all them sitting out like they were captains, and they just decided to not play bowl games, stuff like that. Michigan has righted the ship. So I just want to make sure I'm very clear on that. Nobody's sitting out like Will Johnson. There's a rumor. People are genuinely hurt. That's what I was saying.
Steven, that's my bad. I assume that's what you're saying, because that's what it sounded like to me, because I've seen that floating around everywhere, and I just wanted to take a chance to address that for everyone. But my bad for assuming that's where you were going with that.
No, it's all good. And before I go, shout out to Johnny O with the Ralph Chess Bank glasses. What up, Johnny? You know how I do it. It's all love,
I knew you was. He think he's slick. He didn't come back up here to correct that. He came back up here to say that.
Johnny over here angling for a sponsorship. That's what he's doing.
He knew what he was doing. Man. He's trying to check. I'm upset.
Shout out to Glasper. Like the video, all of that. Real quick, man. We about to get out of here. I didn't want to take up too much of y'all time. We talked about what we needed to talk about. Pay attention.
I got one more question for y'all.
Of course.
Real quick. What do y'all think, or why do y'all think so many players are getting injured in practice? Because a lot of these injuries seem like they're practice injuries.
Could it be that we're missing the strength and conditioning coach, Mr. Ben Herbert?
I
think that plays a part.
I think it's part of it. But I think it's accumulation of multiple things. I think our strength and conditioning program isn't at the level it's been the last few years. Even if Justin Tress is good at it, it's his first year being the head guy. So, maybe he's not good at it and we need to get someone else. Maybe we need to try to open up that new bag that we got and get Herb to come back. Maybe we need to get someone else. I don't know. But I think that is part of it. But I think another part of it is that because a lot of the injuries are coming on the defensive side, and our depth isn't there. Our rotation isn't there. I mean, last year our top guys weren't playing more than 30 snaps in most games. We've got the defense is not only not rotating as much, but they're on the field a lot more in the games. So I think it's a combination of all those things, like just accumulating up together.
But I also think what you said, Johnny, makes sense too. That they are, going harder in practice, trying to maybe even trying to correct some of the things that we all are talking about, and it could be contributing to that too. But I also like Ben Herbert. You almost can't replace that. I don't see. Remember last year we would see the videos come out, Ben Herbert like hyping guys up on the bench and all of that. We're not seeing none of that.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not seeing any of that this
he
year.
instilled a lot of that toughness and that don't quit mentality.
For sure. Yeah. I believe that 1000%. Before we get out of here, because I do gotta go. Be sure to follow my guy Johnny. Johnny, tell him where to get the content at.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube. Just my name, Johnny Olden Jr. I pop up, pre-game analysis, post-game, call-in shows on Sundays, and then I do car lives through the week.
Car lives are my fave, bro.
They're wild, man.
Don't tell Johnny what to do on Johnny's live either. Shout out to Johnny Kinetic. What you got going on? Tell the people where they can get you, find you.
I'm on YouTube, on Twitter, X, Discord, Kinetic 615. Any platform I'm on, even down to PlayStation, everything is Kinetic 615. So if you want to find me, if you're on a platform, look up Kinetic 615, and if I'm on there, you'll find me.
No doubt. Be sure to follow my guy, the Maniac, the Boxing Maniac, at _boxing_maniac on Instagram. We still trying to talk him into getting back on X. It don't look like it's happening, but be sure to follow him on the gram for sure. Find me everywhere at Maize Madman. That's everywhere except for the video games, actually. But Johnny, by the way, we didn't even get to play yet on the Xbox. Kinetic, you already know what's going on with us. I got to get some get back.
Tell everyone to watch out for that video. You're gonna be streaming it. We're gonna play here soon.
Facts. What y'all didn't know is Johnny was an extra in the New Edition movie. He had something that came up. He couldn't be a part of it then. But anyway, so next time, y'all know the slogan: "Stay angry, my friends." I'm upset.